Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Snow Panda Gaming. Today, we are not in Kansas anymore, nor are we in Nevada. We are in Europe, and in medieval Europe, to be more precise. We're in Crusader Kings 2, and this is going to be a tutorial about the game. There's a new DLC coming in, I think, next week, called, I think it's Jade Empire, or Jade Tiger or something like that. It's about China. It's gonna add the Chinese Emperor to the game, and it will also break all save games, I believe. So there's no point in starting a new long campaign. So I'm just gonna do a tutorial about this game. This is a game set in medieval Europe where you are a single individual, a lord, in leading some sort of county or dukedom or kingdom or empire. And we're gonna start it. There's different starting periods. The game starts in 769 AD, and I believe the end date is 1444. I've actually never made it there, even though I've played this for like I think 250 hours or something, which tells a lot about this game because this game is all about survival. You are a person in the game and you can die. And if you die, you will play as your heir. Or if you don't have a son or a daughter, you can play as your brother. Anybody from your house, your dynasty, is something you can play with. But if your house dies, you die, and the game ends. So that's because it's a medieval game. Lots of bad things happened in the medieval era, and people died very early and young. So there's a lot of stuff you can die on in this game. So we'll see how far we can get in this tutorial. You know, we might die 2 years in, or 50 years in, or 700 years in. So we'll see. Anyway, there's different starting dates. The map is going to change based on what the situation was historically at that date. So we can start in the early Middle Ages, where the Great Migration from the Russian Ural Mountains has happened. France, or Franks more like, have arrived, and a lot of other tribes, and they've basically crushed the Roman Empire that was here before. Viking Age is well, starting in 867, where the Vikings started raiding more thoroughly and invaded England and a bunch of other places as well. High Middle Ages, 1066 AD, I think that's when Normandy invaded the Anglo-Saxon England and basically conquered England and turned it more of a made it more Frank and France-like, instead of the Anglo-Saxon tribes that were living there during that time. Age of Mongols, 1220 AD is a start date, which, as you can see, Mongols arrived and conquered, well, pretty much half of this map and rose to power. Late Middle Ages is 1337 AD. I'm not sure actually what happened then. Alright, so Spain had already converted to into a Christian kingdom instead of the Muslim ones that were there before. And the Mongols had already waned a bit away, and yeah, there was the Ottoman rising. The game ends at 1444, which is also a year with another Paradox game, Europa Universalis 4, or EU4, starts at, and that's also sort of the time when the Ottomans rose up in Turkey and crossed the Byzantine Empire and finally conquered Constantinople and started their domination for a couple hundred years. Are we going to play in the early Middle Ages? There's a few suggested characters. There's Charlemagne, leading West Francia. His brother, Coloman, is leading Middle Francia. There's Lombard tribes of Desiderius, who have settled in Italy. We have the Umayyads, led by Abd al-Rahman, who are in, I believe, Spain. They own most of it. There's a few, I think one in the start date, Christian kingdom in northern Spain. But otherwise, it's owned by these Umayyads, Muslim rulers. We have the Abbasids, led by al-Mansur, who are dominant in the Middle East area. They're a caliphate, I think. He's a caliph. There's also Rashtrakuta, led by Krishna I in India. Those are like suggested characters who might be interesting to play at this time. But you can play as whatever the crap you want in this area. It's Europe, Middle East, North Africa, and India, basically, with a bit of the like the Himalayas and the Tibet area, as well as the plains. But yeah, it's January 769. There's different map modes in this game which convey a lot of interesting information. We'll go through it. So first one is realms. This will just change the map in so that you can see all the independent realms. So here the Abbasids, which are the dominant. Byzantine Empire is still alive, sort of. I mean, or the Roman Empire is sort of alive with the Byzantine Empire, which was East Rome. West Rome is already gone, pretty much. Destroyed by the barbarians a few hundred years earlier. The Franks have arrived. There's Charlemagne in this West Francia here. He's of the Carling house. And his brother Carloman is leading Middle Francia. Like I said, there's the Umayyads, which are a very interesting pack. Have most of Spain. There's the Cantabria in the Kingdom of Asturias in the northern Spain. But we are not going to play any of these. We are going to be in England, which is pretty much fractured. We're going to play as Wessex, which is a petty kingdom. It's basically a dukedom. There's different levels. You have counts. This map mode shows all the counts in the area. They own a single province or county. So they are under their dukes. So, for example, this count here, Abbon of Poitiers in France, his liege is Duke Hunoald of Aquitaine, and his liege is Palawan, who's the king of West Francia. And if there would be an emperor, he would be under that emperor. What that means is that these counts are not independent. They're part of like this. Poitiers is part of the kingdom of West Francia, and they're subjects to that. So the kingdom king commands them and tells them what to do. But you can play them. You can rise in power and make yourself king if you're smart enough and lucky enough. Anyhow, those were the map modes for counts, dukes, and kings. Then there's religion map mode, which shows the religious map mode, which nation is what religion in this era. As you can see, Catholic hasn't actually invaded all of even Germany yet. At this point, there's Germanic pagans in there. There's also Slavic pagans in what I believe is modern day Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic and Slovakia. Czechoslovakia hasn't been around for 30 years, but sorry to all the Czechs and the Slovaks. You're not the same nation anymore. Anyhow, They are Slavic pagans at this era. There's Tengri, which are the sort of like a nomadic, like this Khazaria is an independent nomadic horse culture. Basically, they rule the plains in this and the steppes. Well, yeah, and we also have a lot of Muslims. There's Sunnis and Shias. They own a lot of land at this point. It was 100 and something years from the rise of the Islam and Muhammad. So they've managed to expand quite a lot. There's also a culture map mode, which tells the cultures of this land. So if you conquer something, like if you conquer Welsh here, they're going to be a different culture from us. So they're going to be more rebellious. You can culture convert, but it's a takes a long time. So you need to be mindful of what you're going to conquer and how they might react to that. So government map mode, which shows the different governments. Most of us is feudal in Europe, but there's a lot of tribal nations still, and nomadic, and Ikta is the Islamic feudal version. There's actually, when we're going to start as Wessex, Scotland and Ireland is fully like tribal still, even though they're already Catholic. So there's interesting. It's actually a king of Pictland here. It's basically a king of Scotland. We're gonna start as Wessex. This is gonna be our dude. I have a DLC where you can ruler designer DLC. You can design your own ruler if you want. That will, I think, disable achievements, Steam achievements. So if you're gonna go after those, don't design your own ruler. But yeah, we're gonna play as Wessex and just start. There's different rules you can set when the Mongol invasions comes, and the Reaper's Due DLC, for example, adds epidemics, and Monks and Mystics adds different societies, including devil worshippers. There's I think Lucifer's Own or something cult. So you can set these to be whatever you like. What is something you need to note is if that disables Iron Man mode. Some of these do. I have all the DLCs. There's quite a lot of them. The third one is called Sunset Invasion, which is really interesting. It's basically this one. It means that the Aztecs will invade Europe somewhere during this game, and you can set actually when it appears. The default is 13th century, so we have a good 500 to 600 years until they come. But they will come from the west, obviously, by boats, and it's sort of like a funny, totally ahistorical, but a funny event where which plays with the idea that what if the natives of America would have, invaded or sort of like found the old world first and not the other way around. I think it's a pretty funny thing. Obviously, this is a tutorial, so we won't be playing that far, so we can just leave it on. But I will do a proper Let's Play when the DLC comes on. I think it's the 19th of November. And I will probably leave this on for that playthrough as well, simply because I find it funny. I find it very entertaining that there's actually a threat from the west that will come. It will land somewhere here. It might land in Ireland, or it might land in North Africa. You just don't know. So it's going to be interesting. Anyhow, we're going to start a game, and let's go with YouTube tutorial Wessex and start. The these I'm gonna keep these episodes quite short, around 30 minutes. So actually didn't see when we started. So this first one might be a bit longer, but the goal here is to introduce you to the game if you don't know it already. So when I start my actual Let's Play, you won't be like weirded out by this game, and I don't have to explain everything again. So welcome to Crusader Kings 2. In Crusader Kings 2, you play as a succession of medieval rulers from a single dynasty. So we are House Serdising at this point. If it dies completely, we lose, the game ends. And there is no set goal, but the world is filled with ambitious rivals. So even though you can die of diseases and natural things or a hunting accident or whatever, there's going to be rivals. There's going to be people who want your land or your titles, and they will try to get those lands. And one of the things they can do is murder you. So, you know. Then we have the domain size here, which is this paragraph here, explaining that you can have infinite amount of land to yourself. And at some point, we are quite small nation now, but when we grow, as you can see, my limit is actually 3 now. I have 1 over it. I'm the count of all these 4 counties. And because I'm too big, it will make my other vassals angry and will cause all trouble. So in the end, at some point, you will have some vassals and you will have to deal with them. There's an opinion system in the game, which I'll go through more thoroughly soon. But yeah, let's just say that you want to keep everybody happy. And maybe if there's an ambitious guy, you might want to take care of him. Kill him, you know, whatever, to secure a rule. So as a ruler, my first priority is to secure an heir. I think we have one, but we want more because, you know, an heir might as well die at the age of 4 due to a flu. You know, the medical advances in this era are very limited, so it might well be that the members of your house will die very young. So you need to make sure you have a lot of them. All right, so this is a pausable real-time game. So as you can see, we are now paused. If I click that or press space, it will go into real-time mode and the days passed and so on. There's 5 speeds. It will start on 1, and you can use plus or minus either by clicking here or on your keyboard to make the game go faster. All right, let's go. We are playing as the Anglo-Saxon king. These are some interesting like attributes. They are different as I showed earlier. There's some, like, for example, Muslims or nomadic pagans, steppe horsemen, which play totally differently. So this is the introductory for Anglo-Saxon Catholic king at this point. So they are feudals. We have no special features. This is like the base thing. This is what the game shipped with. You are a feudal Catholic ruler. The DLCs that came after that added options to play other rulers as well. And I think I'll go over these during the start. So this is the UI. There's a bunch of buttons and bunch of map modes and different things you can do, and we'll go through all of them. As I said, the game is now paused, so let's go through all of this. This is your portrait. You're playing as this character at this moment. So I'm King Signwolf of Wessex. That's me. I'm a petty king of Wessex, which is this area. I'm 49 years of old. I'm actually reigning in Winchester, Wessex, which is here. You can see where this emblem is. That's the capital of that land, and you can see the borders here. So this is the capital, and if you click on all these provinces, it will change this province view, showing what sort of holdings there are. A holding is either a castle, a bishopric, or a city for feudals. I think, for example, these tribal Scottish people, there's just the clan settlement and maybe a bishopric, because they are, I think, Catholic. Let's see the Catholic map mode. Yeah, I mean the religion map mode. They are Catholic, so they can have bishoprics as well. But for us, it's the main building here is the county capital. If you're a republic, it can also be a city, like Venice has a city as their county capital. There are these other like buttons here are the other holdings in that particular county. So we have Winchester, which is the county capital. That's a castle. You can click it, which will open this screen, which will show you all the information about that castle. These are the buildings. Those are in green bar or have been built already, and these are the things you can build. The icon here means, because it's red, that you can't build it now. You can build it when you have met the goal, which is this icon. This is the money icon, so it seems that it costs 73.4 gold. We have gold up here, we have 68, so we can build it now. So this just means that we are lacking money. This icon means that it requires some other building before it can be built. So this requires castle walls too, and also gold, it seems. You can see the wonderful thing about Paradox games is that even though they are very complex, there's always a tooltip which will show you what's the problem, or give you a wonderful piece of additional information from that thing. So as you can see from the tooltip, we are missing gold and castle walls too. This icon means that you don't have the actual technology to build that. So we can't build this castle shipyard because our shipbuilding must be at level 1 at least. Technology is here. I will go through that later. So this is the county capital. This shows that it's owned by Petty Kingdom of Wessex, which is us. We are the king. So we have the titles here, Petty Kingdom of Wessex. But these holdings, they have, as you can see, we have 2 emblems of the same, meaning that this is part of the Petty Kingdom of Wessex, and whoever is the king of Wessex owns this holding. But these are different, which means that even though these are part of the Petty Kingdom of Wessex, it's owned by someone else. So like City of Southampton, if you click it, you can see that the holder of this domain is this dude, who happens to be the mayor of that city. So this guy is my vassal. So we'll go through vassal in a bit. And same with this Svithen bishopric. That's the holder of that bishopric is this bishop, who's also my vassal. So as you can see, even though we own all these counties, we already have 2 vassals here, 2 vassals here, 2 vassals here, and 2 vassals here. That's like 2, 4, 6, 8 vassals already, even though we don't have any other counts. We are a duke, even though this is a kingdom, but it's a petty kingdom, so it's not actually a kingdom. It's just what they were called in England at this time. There's also other petty kingdoms here. We have Mercia here, Petty Kingdom of Mercia, and you can see that their name is going over another like petty kingdom, which is Essex, and you can see that this guy has this icon here. King Cedric of Essex is a tributary of King of Mercia. So they at some point In the past, they have gone to war and they have made them tributary. Tributary means that I think it's 40% of their total income they will pay to their tributary lord. And as you can see, this dude has 4 tributaries. He's the suzerain, as the lord of the tributary. So he's suzerain of King Aethard of East Anglia. That's here, this area. You can actually go to the diplomatic relations, click on that nation, and it will show in a different color. So these are tributaries, all of these. So even though Mercia is big, but you have to count also these tributaries. So if you attack Mercia, these will help them, and you'll probably be screwed. So we need to tread carefully here if we are gonna make anything good happen. Anyhow, so this is our portrait. Let's click that. There's a lot of information about me. There's my name, my age. There's a Wikipedia link which will open a Wikipedia link and page to an actual Wikipedia link for people who are historical. So like if Steinwolf would have a Wikipedia link, that will open. That shows our house servicing. We are Catholic. We are feudal. Shows our dynasty tree, which will go also if you click this emblem. So this shows that we have a total of 50 members in house servicing, or have been. If you right-click here and hold, you can move this. But only 5 of them are alive. This is our prestige, which is like points, basically. It's not really relevant at the moment, but the higher it is, the more prestigious you are, and more, other counts and kingdoms will respect you, basically. So we are Steinwolf. Our dad is already dead. Has been for 39 years, it seems. We have our son here. You can see also in the children tab here. And that's our male heirs. You can filter this as well. Well, currently we don't have any wife, so your wife would show here and all the other kids, but there's none at the moment. Very weird start. We're basically a single parent to a 19-year-old son. But yeah. So what else? We were here. This is the realm tree. This will show you Wessex. So this is you can again right click and hold to move this around if you want. You can see that this is me. This is our vassals. The percentage here seems how much of percentage have they? They have levy, which is their army, which can be raised compared to yours. So if this goes relatively high, these people, if they're ambitious enough, may think that, hey, we have the army, we could overthrow this ruler, and then they might make civil war out of you. But it seems 16% of our total levy. It's not that much. We're pretty safe, it seems. Anyhow, what else do we have? We have our culture, which is Anglo-Saxon, which is West Germanic. This is Saxony, so I believe they took the Saxon people took boats, arrived in England. They threw the current people, which were Welsh, away to these pockets, and they were Celtic, I believe, and then they stayed there, and they slowly evolved into Anglo-Saxon, which is their own identity and culture. Totally, well, not totally, but different, at least in some points, to their Saxony heritage. Anyway, so we can choose an ambition. There's different things you can try to achieve, like become King of England, and these will give you things, and they require things. So, like, build a war chest, which means that if we are ruling a county, or it's 500 gold we need to get, and if you're ruling a duchy like we are now, we need 700 gold. And if we get that, we will get national tax modifier plus 10% for, that's 4 years, I think. So, yeah. There's also a focus, which is your personal focus. What are you going to do with your life? These in the green are based on your stewardship, which are these stats here. Actually, go through them first. So you have personal stats. What are you good at? You have diplomacy. You have martial. How good are you in combat? Stewardship, which is how basically you are good in ruling a country, or ruling a country, or with money, basically. Then there's intrigue, how good you are to scheme and plot and that type of stuff. And then there's how good you are in learning. Learning is something the religious people need. So yeah, as we go through that, there's 2 for each of these. So green is stewardship. It's based on these colors you can see on the background here. Like white is, or gray is something you can focus. There's scholarship and theology. For stewardship, there's business and rulership you can focus on. Then there's intrigue. You can have intrigue focus, or seduction. Get those ladies. And then there's martial focus, which is hunting and war. And then there's the diplomacy focuses, which are carousing and family. And all of these focuses give a direct bonus. Like this will give stewardship +2 and city vassal opinion, so all the mayors will like you more. And you will also get stewardship 2, so we'll have 6. But it will also change what sort of events, random events, sort of semi-random events happen to you. So if I have business focus, there's going to be like business related events happening in your life when we unpause and go on. So this is interesting because you need to choose what you want to do with your life, basically, at this moment. And you can change these, I think, every 5 years or so. So you need to choose carefully, basically, because if you're like want to do something like you want to have lovers and have babies with them, you better choose seduction. But if you have chosen something else already, it's gonna be, you need to wait for a bit before you can change that. Anyhow, so we've gone through these. Then this is this column here, which shows basically the stats of your of you as well. You have the demand. Oh, the fuck! I don't know. Demand size, I think, is the right. So this is based on you can see the formula on the tooltip. You have base 1 because I'm a king rank. I think it's actually dukedom, but oh well. Gives you +8. It's times 1, so adds 1. Ruler stewardship bonus gives 0 because ours is so low. Ours is 4. These go, I think the normal one is 0 to 20, and you can have even more with events and traits. And then we have laws. We have laws here up here. We can go through those later. And yeah, then there's vassal limit, which we have 18 at the moment. You can see the formula there. If you have the county to yourself, that means anything below it is sort of like yours already, so they don't count towards the vassal. So we have currently 0 because we own all the counties in this region. Then we have army levies, which is basically your army. You cannot see them in the map yet, but you can raise them using this military tab here. Raise personal levies. This number is based on the buildings you have. So we have stables, which gives 35 light cavalry, and Castletown, which gives income. But you can build more, you know. These will increase the levy size and also garrison size, which is the permanent defensive army you have in there. But yeah, that's basically how that works. So you have wealth. You could see that I have Castletown here, which increases my tax income. So we have currently 67 sort of 69 gold, and our monthly balance is plus 4.5. So we will get that much money when in February, and every month after that as well. You have prestige, which is like I said, the how much people respect you, how much you have achieved in your life. You have the piety, which is the same how much you have achieved in a religious way. So you can see the formula there. You can see that there's zealous, which gives +1 monthly, and that's a trait. That's these icons here. So if we go here, we are a tough soldier. That's everybody has this icon, which means how they were brought up. We were brought up by as a tough soldier, so we get some martial and health increase as well, so we don't die that easily, and personal combat skill as well. But we are not so learned, basically. We are also diligent, which is one of the 7 virtues, industria, which is a really good, very good trait to have. As you can see, gives a bonus to a bunch of things, and only minuses to someone who is lazy, which is the opposite trait, I believe. You're also ambitious, which is a really wonderful trait to have if you're the ruler. But if your vassal is ambitious, you know, they will. That's not so good. So they will try to take over your land most likely at some point. But as you can see, if you have it, it's pretty brilliant. You have bonuses to a lot of things. All right, so we have also brave, which is also a wonderful trait. And then we have zealous, which was the thing that gave us monthly piety. So these traits can change during the game, and they will, based on what you do and what happens to you, and you know, random events and so on. This icon here shows the combat modifier based on these traits. So we are brave, so we get moral defense, for example. This happens when you're leading this affects when you're leading an army and what happens in the battle. So what else? We have wife icon. We don't have a wife now. We have an heir icon, which we do have now, even though we don't have a wife. So I guess something happened to our wife. Don't know. Then we have a treasury, which shows you the artifacts. There's like armor and weapons and other heirlooms you can craft, and which you can also loot from your enemies, which will give you nice heirlooms and bonuses to a bunch of things. So that's nice. We have the titles we are currently having. So we have Petty Kingdom of Wessex, and we are also count of all of our counties within the Wessex Kingdom. So that's what it's shown. It would show claims as well if we have claims on other counties and kingdoms and dukedoms, which we currently don't have. So those claims are also the basis which you can declare a war on your neighbor, for example, if you have a claim on that county. We don't have any claims at the moment, and we don't have any allies as well. So below here we can see different tabs. You have family button, which shows my family, my parents who are dead, and my grandparents as well. I don't have any wards, which is like children of another house which you are currently warding and teaching. And there's our own children. We have only one son. We don't have any siblings, so I don't have any brothers. So this is a very precarious situation, actually. As you can see, there's only me and my son. And if both of those die without neither of us getting a child, that's it. Then House Serdising will cease to exist, and that's the end of the game. So, first things when we unpause is to get a wife to both of us and start producing some babies. All right, that's the basics. Basically, the portrait of yourself, and there's these buttons which are very important to rule your country. So we have council, as we are the petty kingdom of Wessex. These are our councillors in this land. So we have Chancellor, these are basically the same as these attributes here. One of these is represented here. So we have diplomacy, martial, stewardship, intrigue, learning as well. And these are the titles. These are the titles, and that's the attribute they are required to have to perform that task. So, like my chancellor needs a high diplomacy skill to be good at what he does, and so on. So, what can my chancellor do? Well, there's 4 things he can do: perform statecraft, which is to improve relations with random vassals, neighboring rulers, and your liege. And that's what he's doing now. He can also improve diplomatic relations, which you can put into a random place, not random, a very specific place, and improve relations there. If I put it there, it will improve my relations with these vassals. So if you know that some vassal hates you and you don't want them to hate you and you don't want to murder you, want to murder them, you can also try to improve the relations by sending your chancellor there. There's also, this is a very important button here, to fabricate a claim. So you can press this and put them in Sussex, for example. So now he's in Sussex, and he has, let's see, possible outcomes in the bottom of the tooltip. Says claim fabricated, 10.68% yearly chance. So yearly he has that chance of getting a claim on that country, and when you get the claim, you can declare war on them. So it's not a very fast way to do that, but it's definitely something you can do. There's also a 2% chance to get noble infuriated, which means that this guy will like me less. We have this opinion modifier here, like it's 24. It goes from minus 200 to plus 200. So he likes us. Anything that is green is good. He likes us quite a bit. And that's the reason, because of state diplomacy, and we're both zealous. He seems to have the zealous trait as well. And also we're both diligent. So this is based on traits and based on what your actions are during the game and so on. It's a very handy thing where you can look at this vassal screen, for example, and see that everything is green. Everybody likes me. That's good. There we go. What else? Oh yeah, I was with the council. So, yeah, that's what he's doing now. He can also try to get some dissent between local nobles and their lieges. So we could potentially get some rebels by, stirring the pot a bit in another country. Marshals they can organize an army, which, well, at this moment this is pretty useless because we don't have a retinue. Retinues are standing armies, which we will get at some point, but technology just isn't there yet. So we don't have standing armies. We only have armies from holdings, which we can raise like that. And then we can disband them, which means if you're in your own county or country, they will stand down and return home, and nothing will happen to them. But if you disband them on somewhere else, quite a few of them will die. So after a war, you want to go home and disband them there. But the retinues are standing armies which you can build when you have the technology. At the moment, we don't, and they will just stand in the land forever before they're killed. So that's pretty useless. We shouldn't be doing that because retinue maintenance cost minus 8%. Well, we don't have any retinue, so why would we want to get a maintenance cost reduction? We don't. We also don't have any horde maintenance cost because we're not a horde. That's more of the people here in the plains who have that stuff and other tribes, I believe. So that's useless. We have subtrust revolt. So if there's a local revolt risk. Map mode here, so you can see who are pissed, and you can send your marshal to try to suppress those revolts. There's also trained troops, which is very handy. I have this on most of the time. It's gonna increase your levy size by 20% in that county. So this levy size here, because this is our only holding in this county, is gonna be 20% more. We send our marshal there, which I think we will do actually. There's also research military tech, which will increase the spreading of technology from that county to something else, or to that county as well. We'll go through that when we go to the technology screen more thoroughly. Your steward can administer realm, which will improve your domain. Increases cultural conversion chances per prosperity gain. So if you want to change this culture to something else, like if we would claim this, we would conquer this land, it's Welsh, and we want to change it to Anglo-Saxon, we can do that. And that would increase that chance of the whole county changing cultures. We can also collect taxes, which is very nice as well. I have this most of the time on. We can increase the tax modifier by 22%, which is quite a lot, so we'll get more money. It doesn't show yet because it updates every month, so 1st of February is going to be when that tooltip is going to be upgraded. You can also oversee construction, which means that the local build time in that county will be modified by minus 22.5%. So when you're gonna build something, there's this timer here how long it will take. So that timer will go down based on how good your steward is. So that number, or any of these numbers, will actually be better if your stewardship rating is higher than this, which is 9 at the moment. You have your spy master who can scheme. Oh, sorry. There was also research economy tech, which is the same as research here, but for a different branch. Your spy master is here to currently scheming, which increases that we will discover plots made by other persons in my realm. So if someone's trying to kill me, or my wife, for example, there's a higher chance that we will discover that plot. The sabotage province, which will send your spy master to infiltrate another province and try to sabotage it. It's pretty nice, actually. I haven't used that a lot, but it seems a good idea. You can also build a spy network, which is, if you want to scheme and kill someone, it will increase that plot power, which is really nice. There's also study technology, so you can send this spy master into a different country, which is on a higher technological level than you. And there's, as you can see from the tooltip, there's a chance that there's a chance of it spreading to your capital, which is nice. There's also court chaplain, who's the religious leader of my country. He can hunt apostates. That will mean all heretics that will rise up predictably and kill that. Will also increase my monthly piety. Proselytize is to convert country religiously. So this guy can. Is it here? Yeah, this guy can culturally can try to improve the culture conversion rate in the country, and this guy can increase the religious conversion rate in that country. But there's chances that heathens attack and heretic noble, so it's a random thing that can happen. But it's also based on how good your court chaplain is. This is 12, which is like pretty average. So the chances of good things happening is pretty low. But when you have a more like a person in this court chaplain place which has like 20, that's pretty good. It will mean that the chances of good things happening is going to increase quite drastically. So this guy can research cultural tech, which is the third branch of technology. The others being economy and military. We'll go through them soon when we reach the technology tab. There's also improved religious relations. So you can improve. You can send your county chaplain to Rome, for example, if you wanna. To the papacy, if you want to improve relations with the Pope. But yeah, I think I will actually, this is good. I want to keep this guy discovering plots, and this guy, I think, well, you can hunt apostate, that's fine. All right, so as I mentioned, all these things they are doing is based on how good they are at their job. So you can appoint new people if they have you can sort by how good they are in different things. So it's not necessarily that you have the best people at the job, but you can also have your most influential people at the job. This is this fist icon here. Like this guy is a bishop of Sherburne. That's somewhere here, I guess. Here. So he's a bishop. He's a powerful vassal, and he expects to be on the council. So this is the council. So this is what that icon means. You can have. Let's see if we have nobody. We have all our vassals, I guess, in the council. I bet there's someone who is. But anyway, this icon will be red, and they'll be angry because they are not. They may revolt or join plots against you or whatnot. So you need to make a decision if you want to have the people who are powerful vassals who expect to be in the country in the council, but they might be bad at their job. But you still might want to keep them at that job because that way they will like you more, pay you taxes and not revolt and so on. Or you can do like this and see that this guy is really bad at his job. It's 8. 10 is average, so he's below average. But he's a powerful vassal. Let's see, we have this guy who was mayor of Southern. He's actually a vassal as well, but he's really good at it. He has 18. That's major. Like this guy can increase the levy size by 20% because he has 8. If we change to this guy, that means he can increase the levy size by 45%, which is major. So this guy is perfect. He's not a powerful vassal though. He's actually not perfect, but he's actually a vassal so he will like you more. But that will probably mean that I think this is the guy who was. So he hates me now. Fired from council, minus 15. It will go away in 10 years, but it's 10 years from he will hate me. And you can see that he's angry for not being council. So this can, it's a trade-off. So you need to choose if you want to have good people which are powerful vassals in your council, or you want to keep your vassals in the council to make them happy, even though they might not be very good at their job. Actually, this is not a powerful vassal, so we could change that to like this guy, 17, amazing. This guy the current guy can increase local tax modifier by 22.5%, and this guy can increase it by 42%, so like 20% difference by just choosing this guy. This icon means that it's my heir, so this guy is actually my son. I made him the steward of Wessex. It's good as well, makes him happy. He will not probably kill me, and we'll wait for his turn to be the king, I hope. Alright, so we have Spy Master. He's pretty alright. We have 20 go. But this guy is a powerful vassal, so I think I'll keep this guy around. This is a powerful vassal as well, bishop. We have another bishop who's actually a lot better, but yeah, let's just not piss off too many. Keep those as they are. So we have laws here. This is something you can choose. How is your succession left? How is the title is going to be divided after you die? We have like lots of different ones. I think we are. Agnatic primogenitor. So our titles will go to our son, it seems. There's also general, so if you want to have a woman who can inherit, you can do that, but you need to have the conditions are that no vassal has a negative opinion. We could have changed that, but now we pissed off that one guy because we changed him from being a steward, I believe. So now we cannot change that. So, trade-offs. There's also realm rovs. We can have how Wessex as a country works. Obligations, which is for vassals, how much will they contribute to tax or levy? So you can choose that. There's also council laws, how much they have power. So if you have a weak king and the council sort of like manages to usurp power, that you can't do a lot without the council's approval after that. But currently it's all mine. Power is all mine, and the council is just for to advise me. Alright, that was laws. Then we have technology. That's pretty simple. You will have like this will you have levels. There's 8 levels, it seems. We are now first in most of them. This is not even first, but we will get points every month. And this, I mean, if we would have these guys, for example, researching economic tech, it will increase by 85% the spread rate. So this tab would be 85% faster. What will it mean? That you can increase these, but like this cost is 59.35. We have 0 at the moment, and it will be increased by 0.76. So it will take a while until we can get light infantry to actually level 1. This will increase their attack defense for light infantry and archers. So you can level this shit up as well. So what else? We have military tab. I almost went through with this already. We have regiments, which is the standing army. We don't have technology yet. I think it's under military organization. Yeah, this will increase the retinue size by 75%. So when we get that, we'll actually get the retinues. There's also army levies, which is from the main. You can also raise vassal levies. So based on your laws, they will give you troops as well to fight. I mean, looks like the troops are not that much at the moment. There's fleet levies. We don't have any ships at the moment, so that's insignificant. We have our vassals, how much do they have, how much they like you, and so on. You can hire mercenaries, they will cost a lot, but this will cost 450 gold to hire. You will lose that money straight away, and then there's a monthly cost of 32.40. So, at the moment we can't afford anything. But you will get 4,500 troops, which is a lot. I mean, we have 1,000 troops at the moment, so you can really turn the tide of any war if you have the money for it. And these are available. There's only these many mercenaries, and you can only one person or one country can hire them. So if the white company would be hired by Sussex, for example, we won't be able to hire them. There's holy orders. There's none at the moment. There will be when the game goes on. You can hire these, I believe, to fight enemies which are different religion than you are. All right. There's also allies in war. If we, if let's say we would marry Carloman's like this princess, that would create a non-aggression pact between us, and we can also, if we like each other good enough, we can form like a really official alliance, which means that they would join our wars and we can join their wars, or have to join them. We can also say no, but if you will, I think you will lose the alliance and also lose a lot of prestige. All right, so we were in military. So that's basically the military tab. You have intrigue, which is where you can scheme yourself. There's also decisions you can do. You can like borrow 300 gold from Jewish merchants if you want. And you can found a new kingdom, but we can't because we don't have the realm size at 35. All these combined have the realm size. I think it's here. So we have 12 at the moment. So if we want to found a new kingdom, we would have 35. You can also have plot to kill someone. And then you can ask if someone wants to back your plot. So the plot power is really good already. I mean, because I want to kill my own kingsman. I really don't. But this is just to show how it works. Also, if we discover any other plots made by other people, they will be shown here, and you can ask if you want to have them end that plot. You can ask them to end that plot, and depending on how much they like you, they might actually agree. So if your wife tries to kill you, for example, and you can ask her to stop that plot, and if she's afraid enough or likes you enough, she will do that. But they can decline as well, and then you can imprison them or try to imprison them. Well, if you have prisoners, that will be shown here, and you can do actions. You can kill them or release them or ransom them or whatnot. This is the threats section. This is actually new. I haven't seen that before, but I think this is threats to you yourself. So that's different from known plots. This could be two people in your realm trying to kill each other. It doesn't have to necessarily be something you are involved. But this is threats really for yourself. Then we have factions. Factions in Petty Kingdom of Wessex, there's none. But if I would give this Somerset to another dude to rule over, he would become the Count of Somerset, but he would be still under me. But if he wants to get independence, he could form an independence faction, and when that faction has enough support, they could claim independence, and we would have to either accept that or fight them back. There's also religion map mode. Oh, no, not map mode. The tab which shows the religion we are in. We are Catholics, so we can see the Pope, moral authority, what they can do. There's holy sites in the game. So we have everything else except Jerusalem, which is controlled by Islamic State at the moment. And this shows all the vassals in my county how much they like. If they like more of the Pope than you, based on this opinion meter, that means they will pay their taxes there. So like this guy hates me now. He likes more of the Pope, so his taxes will go to the Pope instead of me. So that's that. And there's also societies which came with the monks and mystics DLC, pretty new. There are these orders: Benedictine Order, Dominican Order, the Hermetic Society, and Lucifer Zone. So you can join these, try to join these societies based on, you need to meet these conditions. So I can't show any interest to Lucifer's Own because I'm not a sinner. I do meet the other requisites for that seems, but I'm not a sinner. So, if I would choose, for example, seduction focus and bet some ladies, I would be a sinner. I could probably try to join Lucifer's Zone. There's some events, missions you can do. There's these ranks. You start up as this first rank, and then you go forward, and then you get bonuses and whatnot. But it's sort of like how you wanna. If you want to customize your character and join an order and do different stuff like the Hermetic Society is all about finding deeply hidden secrets and not necessarily being the most religious. That's what you're gonna do when you join that order. I can't do that because my learning is not high enough. I'm too dumb for that. Basically, my learning is 6, so I can't join that order. Anyway, that's it. Then you have these important decisions, which I think we will go through in another episode. I think this is over 30 minutes, way past already. But that's what happens when you have fun. So, thank you for this. Hopefully you've enjoyed. I will continue this in the next episode where we will go all these pop-ups, all these buttons here, and the map modes, and then maybe in the episode after that we can actually start the game and see how it plays. All right. Thank you for this, and have a good night, or day, or morning.